Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. This is another Hidden Figures video, and I'm really super excited about today's hidden figure, Vertamae Smart-Grosvenor, who was born April 4th, 1937, and died September 3rd, 2016. She was an American culinary anthropologist, griot, food writer, and broadcaster on public media. Born into a Gullah family in the Low Country of South Carolina, she moved with them as a child to Philadelphia during the Great Migration. Born into a Gullah family in the Low Country of South Carolina, she moved with them as a child to Philadelphia during the Great Migration. Later, she lived in Paris before settling in New York City. She was active in the Black arts movement and performed on Broadway. Her travels informed her cooking and appreciation of food as culture. She was known for her cookbook-memoir, Vibration Cooking, or The Travel Notes of a Geechee Girl, and also published numerous essays and articles. She produced 2 award-winning documentaries and was a commentator for years on NPR, serving as a contributor to its Now series. Grosvenor also appeared in several films, my eyes itching, including Daughters of the Dust, about a Gullah family in 1902 during a time of transition on the Sea Islands, and Beloved, based on Toni Morrison's 1987 novel of the same name. She was also in a National Geographic documentary about the Gullah people. Vertamae Smart was born in 1937 and raised in Hampton County, South Carolina, in the Low Country. She grew up speaking Gullah as her parents' families had been in the area for centuries and were part of that ethnic group and culture. Smart grew up on Low Country cuisine, and she recounted her paternal grandmother Estella Smart's way with oysters in her first cookbook. This was how she became interested in food and cooking as expressions of culture. When she was about 8, her family moved from the Gullah Geechee corridor in the Low Country to Philadelphia. She lived there through her teenage years, and as a latchkey kid and only child, she had lots of time to experiment with cooking. Growing up in Philadelphia, she also became best friends with a girl named Eunice Wayman, who would later be known as Nina Simone. They remained close throughout their entire lives. In 1958, at the age of 19, Smart took off for Paris, France, intending to pursue theater. She also traveled to cities in Italy and other European countries and began to write about food and cooking as a way of expressing one's culture. In Paris, she met Bob Grosvenor, whom she later married. After they had one child, Kali, they divorced, and she later had a second child, Chandra, with a sculptor back in New York. She eventually settled in New York City, living on the Lower East Side and pursuing acting, making it to Broadway. She was attracted to the Black arts movement and its artists, including Nikki Giovanni and Amiri Baraka, both of whom she refers to in her cookbook, Vibration Cooking. She became personally involved in the movement and for 3 years was also an active member, backup singer, dancer, costume designer, and cook for Sun Ra's Arkestra, which we were just talking about in my review video for Solange. She was also a cook for the free breakfast program for the Black Panthers. Grosvenor was a commentator on NPR's All Things Considered and a regular contributor to NPR's Cultural Desk. Early notable programs were her documentaries Slave Voices, Things Past Telling, which was released in 1983, and Dafuski, Never Enough Too Soon, which earned her a Robert F. Kennedy Award and an Ohio State Award. From 1988 to 1995, she was the host of NPR's documentary series Horizons. Her work there included AIDS in Black America, Breaking the Silence on the AIDS Crisis in the United States, which won 2 awards, a DuPont Columbia Award and an Ohio State Award, in 1990. She was the host of the radio show Seasonings, a series of holiday specials on food, cooking, and culture, which won a James Beard Award in 1996 for Best Radio Show. She also became well known for her show The America's Family Kitchen, which led to a television spinoff called Vertamae Cooks. Grosvenor is the author of several books on Black American cooking, but is perhaps most famous for Vibration Cooking, or The Travel Notes of a Geechee Girl, an autobiographical cookbook and memoir. Vibration Cooking was published in 1970 and reprinted in 1986, 1992, and 2011. It is Grosvenor's first book, a radical discussion of culture and race relations through food and cooking. Through her prose and her recipes, she writes of her travels, her experiences as a Black woman in America and especially New York City and abroad, and her life as influenced and shaped by food. The title, Vibration Cooking, comes from Grosvenor's discussion of vibrations in the book. When she cooks, she writes in the book's first chapter, I just do it by vibration. Different strokes for different folks. Do your thing your way. Vibrations for Grosvenor are not only intuition and using all of one's senses when cooking, but also the energy and attitude one brings when eating. Some people got such bad vibrations that to eat with them would give you indigestion, she writes. You were not supposed to serve food with bad vibes. You don't serve no dead food, the Geechee say. Dead food is made with bad vibes. Vibration Cooking was written as a mix of narrative and recipes, with the recipes usually told through a story of who gave Grosvenor the recipe or an event that happened after or during she cooked the meal. For example, a man who was so enraptured by her stew that he proposed to her. Recipes occur as part of and contribute to the storytelling, with prose continuing after the recipe and without any exact measurements. Grosvenor encouraged the reader to tap into their own sense of vibrations, to make do, and to note when the recipe they're cooking looks right, done, or weird, and to make various adjustments if they want to. In addition to recipes for food, Grosvenor also included guidance for cocktails and other drinks, for herbal teas, use of spices and herbs, and poultices and home remedies. The recipes pay homage to Grosvenor's own cultural roots in Gullah culture and Low Country cuisine. Her intention was both a creative project and to debunk and demystify perceptions of Black American food. I wanted to tell stories, she said, about the gatherings, the people, the food, and the history of the food. For decades, the history of Black American food was mucked up. Education is the key. The book addresses gentrification of cuisine and the classification as gourmet of foods that have long been a part of Black American cookery, such as collards and kale. In one recipe, Grosvenor writes, now things are the rare discovery of so-called gourmets. White folks always discovering something after we give it up. By the time they got to the boogaloo, we were doing the tighten up. By the time they got to pig's feet, Black people were giving up swine. She called y'all late. She writes about her own experiences of being discriminated against as a Black woman and her frustrations with the oversimplification and pigeonholing of Black American cooking. She even included a letter she once wrote to the editors of Time magazine in response to an essay that ran claiming soul food was tasteless. Your taste buds are so racist that they can't even deal with Black food, she wrote. Like, white people saying that like Black food is tasteless is just really so ironic. At the time, vibration cooking was not well received due to its lack of traditional step-by-step recipes and use of food to address more serious issues around race, culture, and identity. But today, Grosvenor is considered a pioneer in modern food writing, particularly after the rise of food bloggers that are conversational and the acceptance of the idea that food is political. She's still not that well known, like mainstream, but there are people that know about her in food circles. Grosvenor's Thursdays and Every Other Sunday Off, a domestic rap published in 1972, was about the experiences and lives of domestic workers. In addition to books, she has been a contributing editor to Essence magazine, published articles in The Village Voice, The New York Times, and The Washington Post. Grosvenor also served as a consultant for Julie Dash's film on Gullah Geechee culture, Daughters of the Dust, and Dash is also attempting to produce a documentary about her called Travel Notes of a Gullah Geechee Girl. Grosvenor spent the last decade of her life in an artist colony in Richland, South Carolina, one county away from where she was born. She suffered an aneurysm in 2009, followed by a surgery that left her with health problems that eventually overwhelmed her body. Her daughters brought her home to New York, where she died in the Bronx in September of 2016. That would be Vertamae Smart-Grosvenor. And figure, isn't that just so fascinating? I saw a post about her on Instagram, and then I saw a post about her on Tumblr, and I just was reading about her. This Black-owned business that I follow, Philadelphia Print, has a limited edition run of shirts with her on them right now. I'll include links to all that stuff in the description box. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. There will also be tons more links and information about Vertamae Grosvenor for those of you that are interested. But that is today's Hidden Figure. Vertamae Grosvenor, an amazing hidden figure. Food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Still in March, Women's History Month. Peace.